Hello everyone, I, Mr. Basavaraj Nipani, welcome you all to Sir Kalam Tutorial YouTube education channel. Friends, I hope you all are being safe, happy and doing well. Aren't you? Yes, I hope so. Dear guys, as you all know, due to the spread of novel coronavirus, Indian government has declared lockdown. Fortunately or unfortunately, we have got vacation. And I feel you all are enjoying your valuable time with your family members, as well as you might be spending your quality time with your family members. Of course, we must enjoy, but at the same time, you must remember that we must take the best use of this lockdown period. So, as per the order of CBSE board, all the CBSE schools of India are instructed to start online teaching for their students. So as you all know, your school, SSKP English Medium CBSE school, will be always ready and ahead to accept the challenges and which will take initiative. So today I am here, your teacher Mr. Basavaraj Nipani, who is your civics teacher, going to start the syllabus for 2020 and 21. So today let me introduce the syllabus of civic subject of 10th standard. The name of the book is Democratic Politics 2nd, Democratic Politics 2, in which we study very important topics such as the first topic is power sharing. The chapter number first is power sharing. Second one, federalism. Third one, democracy and diversity. Fourth one, gender, religion and caste. Fifth one, popular struggles and movements. Sixth one, political parties. Seventh one, outcomes of democracy. And the last one, that is challenges to democracy. So dear guys, without wasting much of our time, let us directly go to discuss chapter number first of civics subject NCERT 10th standard, that is power sharing. So guys, today in this video we shall discuss about chapter number first of civics, that is power sharing. So guys, in this chapter we are going to study some important topics such as introduction, the story of Belgium, the story of Sri Lanka, the majoritarianism in Sri Lanka. Fifth one, accommodation in Belgium. Sixth one, why power sharing is desirable. And the last one, that is forms of power sharing. Dear guys, I am going to classify the videos of this lesson into three parts. In first part, we will touch the points such as introduction of power sharing, in which we study the meaning and the definition and the objectives of power sharing. And the second topic which I am going to touch is that the story of Belgium, in which we study the history and background of Belgium. And the third topic, that is the story of Sri Lanka, same as we discuss the story, background and history of Sri Lanka. And in second part, in second video, I'll be going to discuss fourth topic, that is majoritarianism in Sri Lanka, accommodation in Belgium, and sixth one, that is why power sharing is desirable. And in my last video, that is in video third, part third, I'll be discussing forms of power sharing in detail. So guys, let us begin chapter number first, that is power sharing. So guys, now let us try to understand the meaning of word power sharing. Power means, according to English language, the word power means control over something or somebody, or authority, to have authority to control over something or somebody. And share means, the word share means distribute or divide, and both together power sharing means the division of power or the distribution of power. Guys, as you all know, last year in democratic politics, first we have studied about democracy and we have studied many aspects relating to democracy, and I hope we have got the idea of what is democratic government. We have started the tour of democracy in last year, and this year also we will continue our tour for democracy in standard 10th. Having studied that, in democracy, all power does not rest with any one of the organ of the government. In democracy, all power does not rest with any one of the organ of the government. An intelligent sharing of power among legislature, executive and judiciary is very, very important. This is what we have studied last year. So in democratic government, it is very, very important to share power among the different organs of the government. And as we have seen last year, the power of the Indian government is also shared among different levels of the government. This is very, very important because as you all know, our country is a very diverse country in which we can find many communities, many castes, many creeds, many languages and many religions. So altogether we can call there are a lot of social diversities in a country. For the smooth conduct of democracy, for the success of democracy and for the success of the country and also for the development of the country, we need to share the power among different groups of the country, among different groups of the society, so that the development of the country can be very easily achieved. That is what we have studied last year in many lessons of democracy. So here we have understood one simple point, that is power sharing is very much important in democratic government or in any type of government, because that results in developing the country. And now let us try to understand the political term of power sharing. What do we mean by power sharing according to political term? So here let us discuss the definition of power sharing. Power sharing is a political arrangement in which different or opposing groups all take part in the government together. So another general meaning of power sharing is that power sharing is a term used to describe a system of governance in which all major segments of society are provided a permanent share of power. So power sharing is nothing but it is a political arrangement, or it is a term which describes the system of governance in which all the major segments of the society are given permanent power or given the share of enjoying the power. Major segments in the sense, for example, what? We can find many countries in which we can find different communities, different castes, different religions and different ethnic groups and many other aspects. So where people live with different cultures, different traditions, different languages, different backgrounds and different religions, we need to see that all people are living in oneness and they are maintaining peace and harmony in the society. When it is possible, when all the people of the society or all the people of the country are living happy, when it is possible, when all the powers are equally shared among everyone, when all the privileges are given equally among the everyone, then we can see the oneness and harmony in any country. That is what we call as power sharing. For example, your 3 children for your parents, This is especially a summer season. One day your papa brings a watermelon and he gives it to anyone among you. Then what could be happening in your family? What would happen if it is being given for anyone among you? Then definitely there will be fights, definitely there will be quarrels, and definitely there will be no peace and harmony in your family. You all three children are quarreling to each other to share that watermelon. So here an intelligent power sharing is very important to the smooth conduct of your family or the smooth going of your family. So your papa has to share the watermelon among all three of you. Then we can see the success of your family. In the same way, when it comes to society or when it comes to state or region or country, we need to share the power among different groups of the country. This is what we call as power sharing. This is the importance of power sharing, and there are many objectives in this chapter which we are going to study throughout the lesson. So now let us start the first topic, that is the story of Belgium. The story of Belgium. Belgium is a small country which can be found in Europe continent. As you can see on the map of world, you can see the location of Belgium. Belgium is a very small country which can be found in Europe continent. The total expansion of the Belgium is very small in size. It's a small country of Europe continent. It is very small in size. So it is as equal to Haryana, one of the states of our country. The expansion of Haryana and the expansion of Belgium both are same. And Belgium shares its boundaries with neighboring countries such as the Netherlands, Germany, Luxembourg and France. These are the neighboring countries of Belgium. Here you can see on the screen, this is Belgium, which shares the boundaries with France, Luxembourg, Germany and Netherlands. And the total population of Belgium is around 1 crore, which is half of the population of Haryana, one of the states of India. So means Belgium is a very small country which has a small number of population. So the population of Belgium is around 1 crore. So here let us glance at the one more map of Belgium. So here you can see the colors in the map of Belgium on the screen. The whole area, the total area of Belgium is divided into two different regions. The first region you can see, which is filled in yellow color, and the second region which you can see filled in red color. These both the colors, yellow and red colors, indicates these are the two different regions of Belgium. The whole area of the country is divided into two different regions. The first one, that is Flemish, and the second one, that is first one, that is Flemish, and the second one, that is Wallonia. And here we can see the small dot in the map of Belgium, which is in saffron color. That is the capital city of Belgium, Brussels. So this is the map of Belgium. So Belgium is divided into two different regions. The first region is Flemish and the second region is Wallonia. So now let us try to discuss the ethnic composition of Belgium. Ethnic composition of Belgium. Then what do we mean by ethnic composition? Ethnic, let us try to understand the meaning of the word ethnic so that you can understand what is we call ethnic composition. Ethnic means a social division based on shared culture. Ethnic means it is one of the social division in society. As I already told you, we can see different kinds of divisions. So people will be living into different divisions. So it is also called one of the social divisions based on shared culture. Means there will be a social division in a society in which people will be living who shares different cultures, traditions and customs. People belonging to the same ethnic group, people who belongs to same ethnic group, they believe in their common descent as well as they believe in their common customs, traditions and cultures because of similarities of the physical type, because they will be having similarities in their physics or of culture or both. They will be having physical similarities as well as cultural similarities. So they all live together in one region. That is what we call as ethnic composition. And they need not always have the same religion or nationality. There is no rule that they must be from same religion or from same nation. This is not the rule. They can belong to different religion, but if they are sharing same culture, same tradition, same custom, they are called one ethnic group. So now let us try to understand the ethnic composition of Belgium. So Belgium is divided into two different regions. So here there are Dutch speakers who comprises 59% of the total population. So in Belgium we can see there are Dutch speaking people who comprises 59% of the total population who lives in Flemish region. And there are Spanish speakers also. There are French speakers, French speaking people who comprises 40% of the total population lives in Wallonia region. And there are German speakers also. German speaking people who comprises 1% of the total population lives in Wallonia. You please try to understand this ethnic composition so that you can very easily understand the concept of power sharing. And in the capital city of Belgium, that is Brussels, the scenario is totally different. So here French speakers who comprises 80% of the total population of Brussels lives in Flemish region, as well as the Dutch speakers who comprises 20% of the total population of Brussels lives in Flemish region only. So in whole country, Dutch speaking people are in majority and French speaking people and German speaking people are in minority in whole country. And when it comes to the capital city of Belgium, that is Brussels, here French speaking people are in majority, but Dutch and German speaking people are in minority. So Belgium is a very small country, but the ethnic composition of Belgium is very complex. So this kind of minority of Dutch in Brussels, the capital city of Belgium, and the minority of French people in the whole country resulted for different problems, and it created great rift between the Dutch speaking people and French speaking people. But let us try to understand the history of Belgium. The minority French speaking community was relatively rich. But fortunately, people who were in minority in whole country were French speakers. They were rich and they were powerful and they had all the powers in the country. They all enjoyed the powers in the country comparing to Dutch people. And Dutch speaking community were in majority, but they were not rich. They were middle class people and they did not get the benefit of economic development, education earlier. They got it later. Dutch speaking people were in majority, even though they got the economic developments and the right of education and all the other kinds of facilities much later, because as French people were powerful as well as they were rich and they were educated. So these kinds of situations in Belgium created great rift between Dutch speaking people as well as French speaking people. This led to tensions between the Dutch speaking and the French speaking communities during 1950s and 1960s. So during 1950s and 1960s, there were a lot of uprisings, there were a lot of quarrels, there were a lot of disputes between Dutch speaking people and French speaking people because of their powers. They demanded for different kinds of powers. They demanded for the right of education, they demanded for economic developments, and they demanded for different aspects. So this created a lot of disputes and rift between Dutch speaking people and French speaking people. So this is the small story of Belgium. Now let us discuss another story of another country which we can compare with Belgium. We can compare the story of Belgium with another country, that is the story of Sri Lanka. So now let us go to discuss the story of Sri Lanka. So here you can see on the screen the map of Sri Lanka. So guys, let us compare this to the situation in another country, that is Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is an island country. It is a neighboring country of India. It is just few kilometers away from Tamil Nadu. It's the island country which is located in Indian Ocean. Sri Lanka is a small tiny country. It is a tiny country. It's a small country which is located in Indian Ocean. It is few kilometers away from the southern coast of India, that is from Tamil Nadu. And the total population of Sri Lanka is about 2 crores. Means the total population of Sri Lanka is about 2 crores as equal to Haryana, one of the states of a country. The total population of Haryana state in our country is about 2 crore, and the total population of Sri Lanka is also equal to Haryana state. And here the ethnic composition of Sri Lanka is also very complex. So here you can see the map of Sri Lanka, in which the map is divided into 3 different colors. Here you can see saffron color, yellow color and chocolate color. So these are the 3 different colors which you can see in the map of Sri Lanka. These 3 different colors indicates 3 different groups of Sri Lankan people. So let us see the ethnic composition of Sri Lanka. See guys, ethnic composition of Sri Lanka. I hope you all remember what do we mean by ethnic composition of Belgium. So here let us study ethnic composition of Sri Lanka. As you all know, Sri Lanka is a small country which is a neighboring country of India, which is located in Indian Ocean, few kilometers away from the southern coast of Tamil Nadu. And the total population of Sri Lanka is 2 crore. And here Sinhala speakers. So there are Sinhala speakers in Sri Lanka who comprises 74% of the total population. 74% of the total population speaks Sinhala language. So here there are communities which are based on the languages, linguistic communities. We call them as linguistic communities. And Tamil speakers, there are Tamil speaker people who speak Tamil language. They are 18%. 18% of the people who speaks Tamil lives in Sri Lanka. And in Tamils, in Tamil speakers, there are two groups. One is Sri Lankan Tamils, another one is Indian Tamils. Sri Lankan Tamils are about 13% and Indian Tamils are about 5%. So Sri Lankan Tamil means they are the native people. They are the native people of Sri Lanka who born in Sri Lanka and who are living in Sri Lanka. They are called Sri Lankan Tamils, who are the native Sri Lankans. And Indian Tamils means what? People who are migrated from India. People who are migrated from India, from the state Tamil Nadu to Sri Lanka during the colonial period. During the colonial period means, as you all know that, before 1947 we were under the rule of British colony. India was the one of the colony of British. Sri Lanka was also one of the colony of British. During that time, British people used to carry people from one country to another country to work in the plantations which were under their control. So during that time, many of Indian Tamils migrated to Sri Lanka to work in big plantations. So and those people are living there only who speaks Tamil language, and they are called Indian Tamils. So this is the ethnic composition of Sri Lanka. Population is about 2 crore. Sinhala speakers who are Buddhists. Sinhala speakers, Sinhala is a language, and Sinhala speaking people comprises 74% of the total population. Tamil speakers who comprises 18% of the total population. In Tamil speakers, native speakers, they are Sri Lankan Tamils are about 13%, and Indian Tamils who comprises 5%. And there is one more community, that is Christians. Christians are about 7% of the total population who speaks both Tamil as well as Sinhala. So Christians speak English, they speak Sinhala language, and also they speak Tamil language. So this is the total ethnic composition of Sri Lanka. Having studied the ethnic composition of Sri Lanka and the ethnic composition of Belgium. So in these kinds of situations, how can we bring harmony and peace? How can we see the smooth conduct of society? How can we see the smooth conduct of government? How can we see that all the communities of the country are living in oneness? Just imagine what happens in these kinds of situations. So if you take the examples of Belgium, in Belgium, if you take the example of Belgium, in Belgium, Dutch speaking people are in majority. So they can take their numeric majority and can force their will on the minority people such as French and German people. So as they are in majority in Belgium, they can impose their powers, they can enforce their laws on the minority communities such as French and German. But this can take further steps in Belgium, in Brussels. In Brussels, the French people are in majority and Dutch people are in minority. So here what can be done? The French people can use their numeric majority and they can force their will and powers on the Dutch people. So in which we can see the whole scenario of the country will be very very bad, where Dutch people, French people will be quarreling to each other, and they will be always demanding for their rights and their powers. And what would be the condition of German people? What would be the condition of German people? They will be undermined. So this is the case of Belgium. And just imagine what could be happening in Sri Lanka. If you take the example of Sri Lanka, here 74% of the people are Sinhalese people who are enjoying total majority of the country and who are imposing their laws on the minority communities such as Indian Tamils as well as Sri Lankan Tamils. So here also there will be lot of quarrels, there will be lot of rifts between different communities based on languages. So how could we solve this problem, and why power sharing is important to accommodate the social diversity in the country can be studied in the next class. So guys, this is what we have studied in past first introduction, the story of Belgium and the story of Sri Lanka. Thank you friends for watching my video. So please subscribe my channel, press the bell icon so that you can get notifications for my upcoming videos, and please share this video and like this video. Share this video to different WhatsApp groups and your friends. Thank you. Bye bye. Have a nice day.